Gardner City Council will come to order for a special meeting. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've had a request for a special city council meeting for today. There was a petition signed to the Honorable Chris Morrow, Mayor of Gardner, Kansas. We, the undersigned council members of the City of Gardner, Kansas, hereby respectfully request you to call a special meeting of the City Council to be held in the council chambers at Gardner City Hall, 120 East Main Street, Gardner, Kansas, on Monday, April 29, 2013, at 7 p.m. for the object and purpose of discussing changes to Charter Ordinance Number 19, signed Christina Harrison, Council President, Larry Podovich, Council Vice President, and Steve Shute, Council Member. That being the case, we don't have a staff presentation, correct?
Correct.
Everyone received a copy of Charter Ordinance 19 in their packet. Is there anybody that would like to? And actually, before we proceed, we passed in March the governing body rules of procedure. And I'm going to ask everyone to please be mindful. Let's make sure we get recognized by the chair before we ask questions or make comments. And if you're looking to be the next person in line to ask a question, please just hold up a hand or something just to get my attention so that everybody gets an opportunity to speak regarding this issue and everybody gets a chance to ask a question. If you've got additional questions, we're certainly going to get back around to whichever council member might have more than one. We just want to be mindful of everyone else's thoughts, comments, and questions. That being the case, is there anyone that would like to lead off?
Point of order, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Is there also a time for public comment at this time before we start our discussion?
With this being a special meeting, I don't believe that there's a public comment component. Now, the governing body rules of procedure state that the public can make comment after staff presentation. We don't have a staff presentation at this point, but I would be willing to stipulate that after we have finished discussing the matter, that we could open the floor to public comment unless anyone has an issue with that. Very good, then.
Do you want to go ahead?
No, you go first.
Well, I guess just to summarize, to make sure, I understand that from the conversation last week that we have three, I guess, main topics. One being the quorum, two being the method for when an appointment is voted down, and three, the whole electoral ward type. I mean, is that everybody's understanding as to what the three discussion points are?
I don't really think we've discussed, I'm sorry. I don't think that we really discussed the ward system. I think the discussion was more of a general nature about, Charter 19 basically hamstringing us with four-person quorum, and under the current guidelines, we have to, if the mayor appoints and we refuse to confirm, then we have to give a resolution that states why that person's unfit and unqualified, which puts us in jeopardy. I think really there was two major points, and that was the poison, I think you would call it the poison pill. Is that?
Not my term, but
Okay.
yeah, that's...
Actually, was this, this was in Mike Press's, it's Doreen Peschig's memo to Mike Press back in May. So,
Yeah.
and that's where the term poison pill, but either way, it's the state statute that was enacted in 2008 that requires us to basically, possibly defame somebody as a result of denying your appointment. So I think those are the two problems we needed to solve. So we can kind of just pick it up from where we left off last time.
I think we need to be careful. The only thing on the agenda tonight is Charter Ordinance 19.
That's correct.
Nothing that doesn't relate to Charter Ordinance 19. So any statutes unrelated to that are not on the agenda for discussion tonight.
So the discussion at this point is really more of, should we keep 19 in its current form or repeal 19? Because given the restrictions the council just enumerated, we have no other options to in our available quiver of options other than those two. Keep the ordinance as it is, or repeal it.
Doesn't the fact that if we repeal the ordinance, we're still in jeopardy with the, well, I guess you're right. If we repeal the ordinance, we don't have any jeopardy, really, because then it goes back to state statute, which says the governing body makes the appointment. So, right?
Yeah, that would be 14308.
That is correct. Also, the quorum requirement would be reduced to a majority, which by default would be 3 council members. And I believe that is that is in let's see, I have the statute here. Here it is.
14-111.
111, yep, I've got it right here. 14-111 says a majority, so that would be 3 in our case.
Let me maybe prime the pump there a little bit. In regards to quorum, I know that Larry and Steve both spoke about this being something that needed to be repealed. Perhaps one or both of you would like to take a moment to explain why it is that you think that quorum at a simple majority is better than a quorum of 4.
Well, I mean, one of us was gone today. We would not have a meeting. So I think you mentioned managing the process versus the crisis, and just one person missing would have been a crisis. And if someone wanted to make a statement and didn't want to show up for the meeting just to make a statement, they don't have to explain themselves, but we would not be able to even talk about this issue. So that's really the number one reason. And then secondly, it's just a more fair process to have an appointment. As I said in the last meeting, it cures all the other problems that were put in place by Charter Ordinance 19.
Well, let me get a real quick clarification from our legal counsel. If one of us had chosen not to come to the meeting this evening, would we be able to take any action as the governing body with the mayor sitting in the mayor's seat?
Yeah, you have to have a quorum of 4.
4, but does that include?
19 reads currently.
Does that include the mayor?
You go to 3.
Does that include the mayor?
Yeah, it's a council of 5 members.
Mhm.
You have a vacancy here tonight, and you have to count the vacancy. So you'd had to have had, all 4 of you would have had to have been here tonight. That's my understanding.
Okay, so that does not include the mayor. The mayor does
No.
not have a place in that. Okay, that's good to know. Let me explain. I kind of agree with Larry on this. I had a lot of time to think about this. Had a chance to talk to several people, constituents and some former council members who had been around for a while. Were here before the ordinance was drafted in 2002.